They say people change. But what if you met the version of yourself you were supposed to become and realized you abandoned him long ago? This is the story of Elias Grant, a man who thought he was chasing success, until success started chasing him. Or rather, a version of him that never stopped running. Elias Grant had everything society respects: a suit that fit perfectly, a job that paid too well, and a life that looked polished from the outside. Every morning, he'd pass a small mirror in his hallway, but never stop to look. He didn't have time for reflection, literally or otherwise. In his office, he was known for efficiency, not empathy. He fired people with the same calm tone he used to order coffee. His mantra was simple: feelings slow you down. And for a while, that belief worked. Promotions came, respect followed. But the higher he climbed, the quieter his world became. Friends drifted away, laughter disappeared. And though he wouldn't admit it, he missed the man he used to be. It was a Friday night when it happened. The office was empty, the city quiet, and Elias stayed behind to finish yet another urgent report no one would remember next week. When he finally stepped outside, he noticed someone sitting on the steps near the exit. A man about his age, wearing a worn-out coat and holding a sketchbook. The stranger looked up and smiled. "Long night, huh?" Elias nodded politely, half distracted. "Yeah, work never ends." The man chuckled softly. "Funny, I remember when you used to say the same thing. To yourself." Elias frowned. "Sorry, do I know you?" The man just smiled again. "Not anymore." He opened his sketchbook and turned it toward Elias. Inside was a charcoal drawing of him, not as he was now, but as he used to be. Younger, freer, alive. Elias froze. "How did you—" The man interrupted gently. "You were going to be an artist, remember? You used to draw every morning before work. You said it made you feel human." Elias felt something tighten in his chest. "That was years ago." "Not for me," the stranger said. "For me, it was yesterday." Elias laughed nervously. "Okay, you've done your research." "Who sent you? HR? My wife?" But the man didn't respond. He just kept sketching. Lines that looked like memories taking shape. "You stopped drawing when you got scared," the man said softly. "You stopped feeling when you got tired. And you stopped living when you got busy." Elias's voice trembled. "Who are you?" The man smiled faintly. "Someone you used to believe in." The next morning, Elias woke up drenched in sweat. The sketchbook from last night was gone. He tried to shake it off. Must have been exhaustion. But when he passed his hallway mirror, he stopped. For the first time in years, he actually looked. His reflection blinked back. But there was something strange. It wasn't mimicking him perfectly. When he frowned, it smiled. When he blinked, it stared. And then, it spoke. "You've built everything but yourself." Elias stumbled back, heart pounding. He rubbed his eyes, and the reflection returned to normal. But the words, they didn't leave. That evening, Elias went back to the office steps. The stranger wasn't there. But the sketchbook was, resting on the same spot. Inside were new drawings. Each page showed a different version of him. Laughing, painting, traveling, holding hands with people he no longer spoke to. At the last page was a single line: "Meet me where you left me." Elias's breath caught. He knew exactly where that was. Years ago, before the suits and meetings, Elias rented a small studio apartment on the east side. He hadn't been there in over a decade. The walls used to be covered with his sketches, faces of strangers, dreams of places he wanted to see. Now they were empty, except for one. On the far wall hung a mirror, dusty and cracked, the same one he used to paint his self-portraits with. He approached it slowly. The reflection looked tired, older, but familiar. And then the reflection moved, without him. It smiled, the same soft smile the stranger had. "You made it back," it said. "Took you long enough?" Elias whispered. "Who are you?" "The man you promised you'd never stop being." Elias fell to his knees, tears mixed with dust. "I had to grow up," he said. "I had responsibilities. I couldn't waste time chasing dreams." The reflection stepped closer. "You didn't grow up. You gave up." The words cut deeper than any blade. Elias whispered, "I can't change it now." The reflection shook its head. "You can't change the past, but you can stop pretending it didn't happen. You buried me, Elias. Every sketch you never finished, every apology you never gave, every feeling you never faced. I am all of them." Elias reached out to touch the mirror. The glass rippled, like water. He closed his eyes. When he opened them, the studio was bright. Sunlight poured through the window. The mirror was gone. But on the desk sat the sketchbook, open to a blank page. Elias picked up a pencil. His hand trembled at first, then steadied, and for the first time in years, he drew. Not to impress anyone, not to escape anything, just to remember who he was. Weeks later, his co-workers noticed something strange. The man who never smiled started to. He still worked hard, still wore the same suit, but his eyes, they had light again. And every night before bed, he'd look into his mirror, not to check his reflection, but to thank it. They say people change. Maybe that's true, but sometimes it's not about becoming someone new. It's about finally meeting who you were meant to be. Moral: the most painful distance in life is the space between who you are and who you could have been. But the bridge back to yourself is always waiting, if you're brave enough to look in the mirror. If you like the video, please subscribe. It motivates me to give you more videos like this.